Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Danny Jessup with DannySentMe.com. And with the world changing ever so fast this past week, I've been thinking a lot about what can I do to help you and others crush it in life and business. And so I've come up with 15 tips to thrive right now. You don't have to be worried about the chaos and everything else because there's some things that you can do to take action right now and thrive. So, number one is to help yourself first. What do I mean by that? Well, what do they say every time you get on an airplane? They say to, after you put on your seatbelt, to if the oxygen masks come down in a highly unlikely event, to put on your oxygen mask first before helping others. During this time right now, it's a highly unlikely event. Now is the time definitely to make sure that you are helping yourself first. Make sure that you're getting yourself right to begin with, getting the right mindset, get the right training, get the right tools, resources, and things like that that you need to get yourself right first so that you can then go ahead and help others. As a professional sales trainer, I always see my role as being able to help people find the tools, training, and resources to be successful in their role with the things that they are trying to accomplish, the things that they are doing. And so making sure that you help yourself first is a great way to start, because if you're unable to help someone else, if you can't even help yourself, how are you going to help someone else, right? So also it comes in the form of business there, in the form of credibility. Helping yourself first, doing the things that you're asking your customers to do as well is a great way to help yourself first. Number two, I have on here is serve. There's plenty of ways to serve. It doesn't have to be difficult or complicated or big or anything. It can just be the smallest things, such as like smiling at someone. It can be a bigger thing, such as I have a link inside here, going to your local food bank and offering to volunteer time and energy that way. There's a million ways to serve. There's also a website, justserve.org, is another great resource that you could check out. I find that when I serve others and I'm feeling down or things like that, after I'm done serving them, I feel 100% better than I did prior to serving. And so that's one way that helps me get out of a challenging, way that I'm feeling or anything like that, is to serve others. So number three, capture customer data. So look at your inbox right now. Look at all those companies that have been emailing you for the past couple of days about some of the health threats and things like that that are going on. Now think about those other companies and organizations that you work with that haven't emailed you yet. Why do you think they haven't emailed you yet? Maybe they don't have a policy or anything like that in place that it's not going to disrupt their service. Or is it because they haven't captured customer data? What do I mean by that? That means capturing your name, address, phone number, email address, things like that about your customers. Now I ask you, what are you doing in your business right now to capture customer information? Now with social media, we connect with friends and things like that all the time. We're connected there, but we don't necessarily have all their data or their information. LinkedIn, about a year or two ago, they stopped allowing you to export contact information and things. So they made it kind of a little bit more difficult that way of getting people's information that you're connected with. Now, to capture customer information, to capture data, you want to do that, of course, in a professional, legal way. And to do that, you are engaging with that person, leading with value. And for the value that you have, they're offering their name, phone number, and email in exchange for the value that you have or have given them or are going to give them on the next page. And so some of this, you might hear it as a marketing funnel, a sales funnel, a digital business card. There's plenty of examples out there, but being able to capture your customer data in a way that they're willing to allow you to reach out to them is key, especially now. So capturing customer data. Another point too is that there's a gentleman out there named Ryan Stewman. He's teaching everyone that data is more valuable than oil. You think of Microsoft, you think of Facebook, you think of Amazon. All these companies live and thrive and are killing it on data. And there's no reason that your organization shouldn't be killing it on data as well, even if it's just little old you working everything that you have, right? Okay, number four, lean into it and adapt. So many people worked in the office this week. So many people are now working from home. Millions of kids across the country went to school this week. Millions of kids are now at home. So you've got to lean into that environment. It's a new normal that we've got to figure out and adapt to. So what are you going to do to adapt to that new normal? Are you used to working remotely? What are you doing to stay focused? How are you going to carve out that time? Do you have a space in your residence where you're able to work and stay focused and things? Or Are you amidst all the other chaos that might be going on around you? So lean into it and adapt. I find that when I'm skiing, I'm not the best skier by any means, but I find that when I'm skiing, if I lean into my skis, I can control the skis a lot more. But if I'm going down something steep, I kind of lean back and I kind of fight it a little bit. I have zero control over my skis and I am mashing my face into the snow, not on purpose. Okay, but if I lean into it, I've got great control and I can have a lot of fun. And you can too. Lean into your new normal, your new situation. I've included a link here to Brene Brown. She's the author of Dare to Lead. She's got a great Netflix speech on there about leaning into it and having the courage and things like that. And it's so, so good. I encourage you to go watch it right now if you haven't already seen into it. So your new normal, definitely lean into it. Number 5 on the list is focus on what you can control. There's a lot going on right now, most of which you probably have no control over. So what do you have control over? You have control over your mind, your actions, your attitude. You can start with you. That kind of goes back to number 1, helping yourself first, focusing on the things that you can control and letting go of the things that you can't control. But perhaps you could position yourself to be more readily available for the things that you can't control, to get into their lane and to be able to make a difference there in your own life for your own peace of mind and your sanity there. Focus on the things that you can control. Okay, moving on. Number 6, online meetings. So you worked probably at a place now, you're going to have to get used to online meetings. Do you have a way to do that? Are you using all the different platforms out there, like GoToMeeting, like Zoom, like Join.me, or other things like that? Maybe you're doing Facebook Lives or those types of things. Leverage the technology. It's there. Many of us have been doing online meetings for years. It's easy, but it's always kind of surprising to me how difficult it is for the other person. And maybe it's my ignorance of just been doing it for so long, but a lot of times the other parties have trouble connecting to these services. And I can imagine that a lot of us out there are probably a little bit shy about figuring out this new technology of how to connect online. It's really simple. All these online platforms make it real simple for you to be able to do things like that. And so online meetings are a great place to start with that. GoToMeeting, they have a free 2-week trial that you can try out. Test it out with your family and friends. Do a screen share with them. They can see just the camera like you're seeing right here. They can see just a website. You don't have to share your camera every time. But if you want to get camera ready, as a lot of us call it, make sure you're camera ready, that's just fine. Just do it from the waist up. There's plenty of people that do online meetings with their pajama bottoms on, I guarantee you, right? And but it's great because with all these conferences being canceled and these trade shows being canceled and things like that, it doesn't mean that doesn't mean you have to cancel meeting with people. Meet with them online. You've got a computer, it's got a camera built into it most likely, or you can get one off of Amazon real simply and easily, probably even the next day in many cases. And make sure that you lean into your online meeting platform. If you want assistance with how to do this or somebody to test that out with, I'm more than happy to help talk through some of this stuff with you, because it's actually a lot of fun. And I find that when I share my computer, my audience that I'm connecting with is definitely more engaged. When you don't share the computer, it's easy to pick up your phone, share a screen, share your email and stuff like that. So make a real connection there and make a difference in someone's life. So that was online meetings. What about online learning? What are you doing to learn online? There's so much content that's out there right now. I personally love consuming content on podcasts, and YouTube is becoming more and more for me. But either out of both of those, what I love is being able to 1.5 or 2x the speed of the content that's on there. I don't want to just like have to watch a TV show and just wait for it to happen. I want to consume this information, and I love consuming it, and I'm able to consume a lot of that information. But part of that is just switching it from 1.2, 1.5, 1.75, or 2x the speed, depending on how fast the interviewer, the content is speaking, is kind of where I'm figuring out how much of the information I can still take in while they're still talking a little bit faster. And what's great about that too is that it's not like the old cassette tapes where you sound like a chipmunk when you speed it up. You're able to do that. In fact, with this platform right here, Vidyard, if you look down in the little setting on the wheel down below, you can actually 2x the speed of this video as well and cut your time up to in half of watching through this content here. Let me know what you think about that. Okay, offline learning. What are you doing for offline learning? So right now, a lot is happening, and you just carved out probably a lot more time into your schedule. How? Well, if you went into the office and now you're not going to the office anymore, you just barely cut minimum probably 10 minutes, best maybe 2 hours into your day. You just barely got back because you're not sitting in traffic. Okay, think about that. What about the kids out of school? Yes, that's challenging. We've got to entertain them if you've got kids at home for the next couple of weeks or however long this is. However, you no longer have to get lunches ready like you would in the morning and have kind of a mad dash. So that's yet another 30 to 60 minutes available to you in your day. Take this time right now and maximize it every way you can. Okay, so offline learning, there's a lot to do. I mean, I've got books up here. I've probably read 2/3 of them on here, and I'm just consuming. So I'm consuming digitally, and I'm consuming whatever that is, analogically, right? And so I love reading these books. I love getting signed books from the authors and things like that. It's a lot of fun. But the value that's found in these books is phenomenal. And you know what they say? Leaders are readers. Okay, leaders are readers. And so if they say that the average CEO reads 50 or 60 books a year, okay, if you might not be the head of a Fortune 300 company, that's okay. How many books have you read a year, and what's the last one you have read? For me, the last one that I just got done reading is Above the Line by Urban Meyer. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal book. I highly, highly recommend it in life, leadership, and business, and so many other things. Great, great read there. So check that out if you'd like. Okay, so what do we got next? We've got reviews. Okay, so right now, everybody's going to get a little bit more discretionary with their funds, and everybody is going to go start turning even more to online reviews. Now, a lot of people I talk to, if they're buying on Amazon and it's got something, if any product has less than a 4-star review, they're probably not touching it unless it's the last resort of what they need. So they're looking for like 4 stars and above just to entertain the thought of their browsing. So what does that mean for your business? Most of us aren't selling on Amazon. Some of us are, and I hope you have a higher than four-star score on your Amazon reports there and your reviews, I mean. But what about off of there? You've got Facebook reviews, you've got Yelp reviews, you've got Google reviews. So what's the one that matters the most? Well, I recently heard that your Google reviews can make up about 15% of the value of where you are ranking on Google, up to 15%. That's pretty weighted. So what does your Google reviews look like? Well, that's going to come through your Google My Business account. Do you have that set up? When you get your Google My Business account, you've got to set it all up and everything, and then just to validate that you're a real thing, Google's got to make sure that you are. So you can request a postcard. They're going to snail mail you a postcard. It's got a PIN number on that, and then once you get that, you can enter that into your Google My Business and verify that listing. And that listing makes it so that you can be verified on there. And then with that Google My Business listing is reviews. There's a little reviews tab on there, and so Google reviews. There's one agency out there that says that they're on a mission to help every business out there get 300 Google reviews. Well, geez, 300, that's a lot. Are they real reviews? Yes, you want them from your real customers. Okay, real happy customers that are doing business with you. I've included a link that has a little bit of information, or you can DM me for additional information on what that might look like in getting real happy customer reviews from their verified Gmail accounts and whatnot. You can have those reviews come feed into your website and things too. But getting Google reviews is probably one of the things that I would recommend getting laser focused on right now, so that you can have the reviews there, so that when people are using discretion upon products and services and things like that you have to offer, they're going to take a look at those reviews, and you want to make sure that you have a volume of reviews where your competitors might not. And so now is a great time to capitalize on that. Okay, number 10, live by the G code. What does that mean? The G code, as I've listed inside here as well, is coming down with gratitude. So 2020, going into 2020, gratitude is one of the things that I wanted to focus most on for myself personally. And I came across the G code. It's also by a gentleman by the name of Ryan Stewman. I've got a link included for it here. You can check that out and message me for the code to get in. But basically, you can get up to 4 points a day going off of your gratitude, your grind, your genetics, and your group. I really need to work on my genetics. That's the one that I've got the most challenge with. But every day you can see as an opportunity to learn, and it's just a great way to really simply and easily showcase what you're doing every day for your G-code. So I've saved the link to my desktop on my phone, and it goes in and it shows the G-code, and you've got a score here, and you can just show how many days you've come inside here and post. The goal is to post every day. You can get up to 4 points per day. And I've been doing this since the beginning of the year, since 2020, and I'm up to 221. There's others that have doing it at the same time, and their score's a little bit higher, and others who scores less. But either way, you can come inside here, and you can come in, and you can give an accounting of your day in some of these areas so that you can live by the G code. And I highly, highly recommend it. It's a great way to track what you got going on for yourself personally. Okay, number 11, get outside. Take a breath. Get outside, get some fresh air, go ride a bike, go play catch, go do whatever, walk your dog, any of these things. Just get outside and change the scenery just a little bit. If we're spending all this time in online meetings and online learning and offline learning and stuff like that, we've got to take a break and everybody be real and get outside. And there's a list of all sorts of other things that I've included a link to for different activities that you could do to get outside and do something different there. Number 12, one of the favorite movies my family loves watching on Netflix is The Crudes. And it's a hilarious show, but what's great about it, especially right now, is that they're going into uncharted territories, into things that they're not used to doing and whatnot. And there's a lot of fear and uncertainty with everything that they do as cavemen and cavewomen. And as they go along, the more they fight the things, the more difficult their lives are. And the more that they kind of relax and lean into everything, just like Brene Brown talks about, the better off they are as a family as they do these different types of things. And so highly, highly recommend going on and watching The Crudes right now, because it's got a great message for everything that's going on. Okay, number 13, double down on ads and training. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, usually in tougher times, advertising and training are the two first things to go. Well, before you do that, think about why you went and got advertising and training for your organization to begin with, right? There was probably some sort of a gap that you had. You needed more customers. You needed better branding. You needed more customers to come into your business. You needed your employees to know how to have some soft skills to greet customers about when they entered in or started to engage with your company there, right? We want to have our best foot forward the entire time. And so advertising and training right now is the best time, in my opinion, to double down. In fact, I talked to somebody recently where they said just this week that they have bought more stocks than they have ever bought in their lifetime. Okay, and so because things are going to come back up. But as other companies are pulling out and backing up and cutting these things out, now is the time for you to lean into these things as well. Can you get more for your advertising? If there's less competition, of course you're going to be able to do more. Can you have a differentiated experience in your organization with the right professional training? Okay, so one of these things is I call the client accountability gap. When you do that advertising, everybody kind of puts their eggs in the advertising. They hope the phone rings, but then what happens? The purpose of advertising is to shorten the sales cycle. The purpose of marketing is to shorten the sales cycle, right? And so if we want to shorten the sales cycle, we find a qualified person that's interested in your products and services. We want them to reach out to you. But now that they've reached out, what happens? How are you tracking where that lead came from when that customer called? How are you tracking how they heard about you? Okay, when they call, what is the training going on with your team? What do you do when that phone rings? Does every team put a smile on their face talking through the phone when that phone rings or when a customer comes in? What are you doing to help train the experience? What are you doing to help upsell clients that come in for something basic to get something that's better? And what are you doing to train your team to ask the right questions to find out if what you have or if what you have a good, better, best option for your customers and what's going to work the best for them? Okay, think about that type of training that's going to work for your organization that you might have some gaps in if you're realistically looking at what's going on with your organization right now. So ads and training, I've got some resources inside here. I've traveled all over the US and Canada working with businesses and sales reps. And check out the little video that I have a link to that you can learn in 5 minutes what it took me years to learn when that light bulb finally went off. Okay. And so number 14, put your best foot forward. Unfortunately, as businesses do scale back, that's going to allow some of us a little bit more free time, unfortunately, in the form of possibly being laid off or not having as many hours or those types of things. As unfortunate as that is, you've got to be ready for that next step. Okay, or maybe you're ready for that next step right now. In fact, a friend of mine is actually starting a new job on Monday amidst all of this. Okay, how exciting is that? And probably a little bit nerve wracking, but they're trusting the process and they're just moving forward and they're making it happen. Okay, and so I hope that you are trusting the process, moving forward, and making things happen. All right, and so putting your best foot forward as far as your job goes is that I look at every day as an education and an opportunity to earn my ability to come back to that organization. Okay, so what are you doing there, and what are you doing to help get into those organizations as well? Okay, there's a lot of different resources out there. I've included a link to some resources where there's 18 tips of interview questions that you can ask a person that's interviewing you for a job, and also 18 things that you can do to prepare to nail that interview so you hit it out of the park. Feel free to check that out and let me know what you think of those tips. Okay, and then last but not least is to number 15, take action. Okay, it's important amongst all of this. It can be a challenge, and you have, even on here, 15 things on the board here. What do I do? Just take one. Take action with one. Last year I saw an interview with someone who was interviewing a celebrity, and they kept telling the celebrity, "I'm so excited. I have a million questions." And they said this over and over and over. Finally, the celebrity said, "Let's just start with one question. Go ahead and ask me just one question. Let's start there." Okay, so choose one thing. What's one thing that you can take action on today that's going to make the difference for your business? Maybe it's something you've been putting off. Maybe something you didn't have time to do. Maybe it's counting inventory or whatever it is for your organization. What does that look like? Writing out documents, systems, processes, defining things and steps that your team members need to go through. What do these things look like for you? Okay, so as you look at the different tools, training, and resources you have available, make sure that you are taking action. And if you want a great story about what happened when I had to once had to take action amidst finding myself in uncertainty in a situation that I felt I shouldn't have belonged in, check out the link right here. I hope that you'll enjoy that video as well with me and helping some police department take down a guy that was running. It was crazy. Okay, so these are Danny sent me 15 tips to thrive right now in life and business. And I hope that you continue to thrive in life and business right now amongst everything that's going on. Follow some steps like this, and I'd be curious, what are the steps that you're taking outside of this list, or what would you add to this list? Definitely message me and let me know what you think. Hey, thanks so much. Look forward to hearing from you.